Hello, and welcome to Meet the Masters.
Poison's ready! Yum, yum, yum.
In this episode, we're highlighting Nedien, a brawling juggernaut who excels at shredding enemy stats, zone control, and sustaining through drawn-out team fights. Nedien hails from a reptilian race that consumes and purifies poison, though she is afflicted with a condition that causes her to instead produce the very toxins that she is meant to contain. Nedien longs to find a home that accepts her, and to put her powers to use for a noble cause, hopefully redeeming herself in the eyes of her people. Nedien lashes out with dual Vile Blade shotgun. Her basic attack slashes forward 3 times in a small arc in front of her, poisoning enemies on the 3rd strike of each chain of attacks. This weapon can be augmented to decrease overheat, increase attack speed, or briefly increase Nedien's movement speed on the 3rd strike. Nedien's passive skill, Creeping Venom, douses enemies with a stack of venom each time they are damaged by a skill, and on the 3rd strike of her weapon attack combo. On the 3rd stack, it will deal a burst of additional damage and restore a portion of Nedien's max health. Nedien's survival skill is Skitter, allowing her several feet to carry her to safety by dashing a short distance. Skitter also grants CC immunity during the dash. Nedien's first skill is Bottled Miasma, which can be toggled on or off to drop a poison area at Nedien's feet periodically. The poison deals damage to enemies standing in it and shreds defenses by a moderate amount, but will constantly drain mana while toggled on. Upgrading Bottled Miasma reduces mana consumption, increases the poison radius, and also increases the defense shredding. Toxin Toss, her second skill, throws a bottle of poison to a target location, creating a large area of toxic fumes that deal damage over time, stacks Creeping Venom, and slows all enemies in the area. Upgrading Toxin Toss reduces mana consumption and skill cooldown, while increasing the attack radius and duration of applied Creeping Venom. Her third skill is Crippling Sling Blades. On the initial cast, 3 Sling Blades will begin rotating around Nedien. You may then recast the skill up to 3 times to throw the blades one by one in a line towards your cursor, damaging and slowing the first target in its path. Each Sling Blade that hits adds an additional stack to the slow. Upgrading Crippling Sling Blades increases projectile speed, skill power, reduces cooldown, and causes the final blade to bind its target. Nedien's last active skill is Vitriolic Rush, which causes Nedien to charge to a target area, striking all enemies in her path while gaining CC immunity during the charge. At the end of her charge, Nedien lets loose a toxic explosion that restricts weapon attacks and terrifies monsters for a short duration. Upgrading Vitriolic Rush reduces mana consumption and cooldown, while increasing the restriction duration and causing the Terrify to also affect masters. Nedien's ultimate, Blade Frenzy, greatly increases her attack and move speed, while adding the neutralizing poison effect to her passive, which reduces enemy weapon damage and skill power by a moderate amount. Upgrading Blade Frenzy decreases cooldown and increases her attack and move speed buff durations, while further improving the detriment applied by neutralizing poison. Nedien is a rough and tumble brawler built to cover objectives and win team fights. Kit her out with Bottled Miasma and Crippling Sling Blades to outfit her with a great mix of sustain and fighting power by shredding armor and using the burst from slinging multiple blades directly into an overeager opponent. If that's not your style, try Toxin Toss and Vitriolic Rush for a great engage and zone control power that will scatter enemy teams and split their focus. Mix and match for complete area denial with Bottled Miasma and Toxin Toss. As always, don't forget to throw down your ultimate to remain dominant in a 1v1 or help stack your creeping poison and stay alive in team fights while sponging damage from foes. When playing against Nedien, stay out of her poison to avoid giving her passive healing. Be especially careful about fighting in waves of Titanites to not trigger her passive healing more than you can handle. Anything you can do to stop her from attacking and stacking poison is a must. To effectively burst her down, rely on CC and strong direct hits to knock her out of the fight before her healing gets out of control. Nedien might appear small, but she's a bigger threat than one might think. Don't let her skitter into your team unnoticed, or you may end up feeling green as a wave of sickness washes over you. But when used correctly, she can create chaos for enemies and opportunities for allies. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give us a like. You can learn more about other masters at playmxm.com and be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube for more info.